this. The television is not reality. And sitting on your couch and, kind of projecting yourself or living vicariously through a TV show is infinitely less exciting than getting out in the real world and actually doing it, actually experiencing it in the three-dimensional reality, utilizing your body, becoming that character, and living out that actual reality. So one of the most powerful things that you can do is turn off the TV. Stop watching shows. Stop watching some character play a life that doesn't exist for you because you are literally just sitting your ass on the couch doing nothing. And I'm not trying to be negative, but there is a point where some of the tools of learning, you've got to shut them off. I'm going to say the same thing about social media. Sitting there or watching images or videos or other people's lives is a very toxic energy in terms of creating your own manifestation. So another secret that I utilize, I don't look at what anybody else is doing, I just do what I'm doing. And yes, you're watching this video of me. Hopefully you learn something and then you shut it off and you go out there and live your best life. You assume, you walk into the shoes of the character you were meant to play. And I also want to suggest that we're in this time period here on Earth where we have some big decisions that we have to make as a human family. We are seeing a lot of things play out on the global stage in terms of our environment, in terms of economic situation, everything is interconnected. And so it is sort of time for us to return to that hands-on approach, the doing approach. In North America, when they built the Great North American Railway, everybody banded together and it was exciting and people were magnetized to the energy of something new. And what I find nowadays is that people are complacent. They are uninspired. They're following media. They're not thinking for themselves. They're not coming up with as many new thoughts and new ideas. Now, I'm not saying there's not people that are out there inventing amazing things, but it's such a small percentage. And we've lost that, adventurous spirit. When you think back to Christopher Columbus and these people that traveled around the world and just had this spirit of just seeking for this sort of cutting edge adventure type energy, we've sort of sold that ideology for this luxury, fake kind of let's pose and do selfies and drink. And I don't even know what that energy is. I don't align with it. I don't understand it. And there's nothing deep and poetic and really, groundbreaking in it. So again, when you think about your story and you think about the character that you are playing in this lifetime, imagine it doing great things. Imagine it becoming things beyond your wildest dreams, or remember to dream. Start dreaming again, because again, the monotony of a super compartmentalized societal boring role, you're just going to feel like your energy is zapped. You're not going to feel like life is worth living. You're going to have, you're going to feel depressed. You're going to feel anxious. You're going to feel boxed in because, that's the reality that you're creating. And in a way, you've let the 1% of the population kind of just push you into this role. And I'm not saying that I'm not saying that you attack big business or you attack the government. I'm certainly not about that. I'm about creating change through diligent, good work and intelligence, but a sense of creation, adventure, and amazing imagination. That's what's going to create a beautiful new world. That's what's going to create the new earth. And there's also responsibility for us that are a little bit the older generation to help the younger generations to do and provide the infrastructure for them. So what do I mean by the older generations providing the infrastructure? So first of all, we have to be actively creating that amazing world. And it should be a world that is fun for sure. Things like Disneyland, things like, whatever it is that builds the imagination and builds that creative spirit for humanity and the new humans that are being born. But also us living and filling the shoes in a righteous way, being that king or that queen or that hero of the story. You need to become it. You need to be the embodiment of that. If you're sitting around drinking, smoking weed and ignoring your kids, not spending time with them, not teaching them, like, how do you expect them to be able and be capable to handle the world that we are handing over to them? I mean, the people that built the world that we are experiencing now, they were crazy strong. I mean, if I look at my great-grandparents, they came, to a new world. Even my great-great-grandparents, they were like building their own cabins and building roadways, and there was people gathering and creating governments and all of these different things. I mean, this has only happened in the last 150, 200 years. And now we have a society of people that are fairly entitled, really not capable of necessarily figuring out the different pieces for themselves. And then we also have a lot of parents that are more interested in partying and looking cool to social media than actually doing a really great job of raising their kids. And I'm not saying there aren't parents that are doing a great job raising their kids, but there's enough of society that is just complacently okay to kind of do the bare minimum and kind of reside on escapism instead of embodying the next chapter of humanity. And the next chapter of humanity also comes with responsibility. Every generation is here to build something new and also correct the mistakes of the past. And right now, we have a lot of correcting to do. We have to know that the planet is suffering due to the weight that we're putting on it. Environmentally, we have to be better. We have to be conscious about what we're doing with the materials that we consume. We have to have a strategic plan about how we're actually going to replace things, recycle, move into the next 50 to 100 years with our ever-expanding population. And part of this is going to be about utilizing the hands and the people and the infrastructure, kind of like an ant colony, to rebuild things. And if we're going to do this as a human family, people have to get out of their laziness. They have to get out of this ideology of just everything being a party. I don't know. I don't want to say like a party, but just like this empty cycle of doing the same thing over and over and over again with no real purpose. You need to have purpose for what you're doing. You need to be purposeful. You need to have a dream. You need to have something that magnetizes you to why you're here. Otherwise, you feel stagnant. You feel stuck. You don't know who you are. You don't know why you're here. And we're here to create a better future, a more imaginative future, a crazy, cool, the things that come from our collective consciousness and the human imagination are so beautiful. But we have to have the courage to believe and assume and attract and know that the quantum field is capable of delivering, okay? And this is, again, walking in spirit, walking with God, trusting in Mother Gaia, however it presents to you, whatever your spiritual background, they're all valid, they're all capable of creating dynamic realities through this belief in something higher. One of the easiest things that we can do here now in our sometimes we can feel a little bit limited in our resources, but is to completely eradicate the idea of division. Okay, this is a very, very simple step that humanity can make, and all it takes is a simple thought form. Understanding that all human beings and all life has value. It's a very simple concept, and it is the highest alignment of truth. All life has equal value. Okay, so once we can accept this as a collective consciousness and as a human family, it will eradicate a lot of issues here. If everybody can just adopt this one principle, which is so evident, it's so obvious. There is no conceptualization where any creator or universal force would make one type of being above another and pit it against each other. That doesn't exist in creation. That's not the way it works. So this is a human idea that has been projected on so many different things as a mechanism of separation, but it is not correct. If you live in Timbuktu, if you live in Transylvania, wherever it is, all people, all skin colors, all aspects of the human family are created equal. Just accept it. There is no better. There is no worse. There is no chosen people. There are no, it drives me crazy when people have these ideologies, because these thought forms lead to attack. They lead to this embodiment of an assumption that we are allowed, or that there's some higher calling to attack each other. That's wrong. That is 100% wrong. I don't care where it is written or who came up with that garbage, but it is not correct. And then there is a step further, okay? Because we are part of the earth. We are the earth, okay? So thinking and having the ideology that we are above other life forms is incorrect. I don't care if you are a bug or an ant eater or an elephant, okay? Or a human. All life form is created equal. All life forms, okay? They all have equal value because they are all part of a single system, a single infrastructure. And if you take one part away or you devalue one part, the whole starts to break down. So when we embody this very core truth of reality, that everything that is equally important and equally worth fighting for, saving, protecting, loving, we cross that precipice of really understanding the laws of creation, and we become magnetized in a certain way that allows more blessings to come into our lives. Now, yeah, it's a bit of a reward system, but it's just, again, when I say blessings coming into our lives, when we are given these blessings, we also have to extend them. That's the laws of giving, okay? When you have figured out sort of the algorithm of what truth is, what love is, then you have to start giving it, paying it forward, teaching it, being it, embodying it in everything that you do, and again, protecting what is life. Protecting love, because love, the energy of love, is creation, and life, all life, nature, all beings, all humans are worth protecting and are worth developing, not just protecting, because it doesn't matter what role you play, we have to play a role in the development of others, in lifting them up, in inspiring them, in telling them that they are beautiful and wonderful and incredible, and that they are also unlimited in all that they do. This unlimited principle is so incredibly important, and I want to talk a little bit more about this limitlessness. So what do I mean when I say that each and every being is unlimited? What I mean is that pretty much anything that you can conceive can become reality, okay? our minds have been very boxed in to think in terms of like Darwinian evolution. But again, okay, here's the magic. You have to understand that like, as there is evolution, like from a very tiny single-celled organism, we now exist. So right there proves the principle that anything can out-manifest. If you start needing, and I'm just going to be sort of fictitious here, but not really, if you start needing like an extra thumb or, some sort of a power or an ability, or, maybe you want to move things with your mind. I don't know, I'm getting a little crazy there, but really, whatever you believe as a faction of creation that you need to fulfill your role, your story, your becoming, what you want to see in the reality can manifest. And so don't put your mind in a box. Be limitless. Be limitless with what you think. And of course, be reasonable. I'm not suggesting that you jump into absolute insanity. Dream your dreams, have your visualizations, believe in your imagination, and then allow it to out-manifest. And if for some reason it's not manifesting quickly, or you feel like you are overutilizing, maybe stretching the limits of your imagination, just remember that, again, if we look at evolution, sometimes it takes time for any new adaptation or life form to be created. Everything is changing, everything is in motion, and for us to assume that we have no role to play is thinking very small. So as the environment, as reality requests and requires a different level of life form or life that's going to be coming into fruition, it will make that life form. You just have to trust in it. I mean, there was the dinosaurs, there was pterodactyls flying around, huge mammoth creatures. So don't think that reality can't make really intensely crazy things. So, and ask yourself or question, what is the mechanism of evolution? What is the factor within the biosphere that allows these adaptations? Of course, yes. I mean, as species breed, there might be a little bit of a mutation, but still, at some point, that mutation had to be thought of. There had to be a need for it. There had to be a need for legs. There had to be a need for wings. There had to be a need for all of these things. So at some point, some intelligent force that is part of the creation had the thought form of this, had the desire of a wing or a fin, or a tail or whatever it is. So that's kind of my message for today is be whatever you want to be and become it, think it, feel it, bring it into your reality, manifest it, and it will be drawn to you. It's kind of magic the way it works. And that's also the point where miracles are created. You have to have the mind for it. You have to have the belief in it. You have to have the trust that what is external also came from within, and what is within is capable of creating a beautiful reality, not being afraid of how powerful you actually are, and being diligent to the infrastructure that you are personally creating through your thoughts and what we are co-creating as a human family, being diligent to that and paying attention to it, and when you have something that you need to share, having the courage to share it and teach it and be it and extend it. So happy Sunday, everyone, and hopefully you guys are enjoying the beautiful sun somewhere in nature. I know I sure will be today.